And this one is a game that's inspired by movies like Aliens, where players are going to be going up against an alien threat on their ship. But what makes this one really interesting is that the ship has also entered into its emergency protocol routine, and this is all designed to protect the ship from the enemies, not the players. So if the players allow this sequence of events to continue, the ship is actually going to be wiping out everything on it, including the players. So not only are players trying to defeat their threats, they're also trying to shut down the protocol before it eliminates them as well. Another really unique feature of this game is that it actually also has an unfoldable box that you're going to be using in order to play the game, because you're just going to be unfolding this box in order to set up the main board. And the box does have an insert in it to hold all the cards and components. But you are actually going to be using that insert in the game as well, because there's going to be different ledges on the edges of the inserts, and the insert represents the different ventilation systems offered in the ship, and players will be able to crawl through those by moving their characters across those different ledges, which will allow them to navigate to the ship and get to areas that aren't so easy to get to, or even try to sneak past some of those aliens. This is a game that offers a few different scenarios that all work a little bit differently from each other, and there's also a bunch of different protocols that players can play to go through a different sequence with that onboard computer. Each player has their own deck of action cards specific to that character, and players are going to be taking turns just playing one action card at a time until a player passes. And then once a single player passes, then all the remaining players can go once more, but they'll be able to play 2 cards at a time for that final turn. The actions might allow you to move different distances across the board, interact with the ship, opening and closing doors, or interacting with different computers, interacting with the other players, and of course, fighting the various enemies. Moving into a room with tokens allows you to perform an action to reveal those tokens, and these tokens could sometimes be alien threats that you'll then have to bring onto the board, or they could be additional action cards or items that you can include with your character. But once all the players have performed their actions, there's going to be certain security doors that are always going to be locking shut at the end of your turn. This can be a good thing because they do offer some protection against the aliens, although aliens can deal damage to the various doors. But if they do that to get into a room where you're at, they're going to be exhausted from breaking down that door, and they're not going to attack you right away. But the aliens do all get an activation after the player's turns, and each alien can move in a different way, or even not at all, and this is all going to be outlined on that alien's card. But you're also going to be drawing an additional card to indicate what actions that alien is going to perform during its activation. This could cause it to get additional movement or have different effects, or of course attack other players or creatures in that room. The actions players performed all generate a certain amount of noise, so anytime that an alien's targeting a certain player, if there's multiple players it could potentially hit, it's always going to be attacking the player that was the noisiest. Whenever you're attacked by an alien, you're going to be drawing another alien card, and each of these cards will also indicate whether it's a hit or a miss. And if it's a hit, it's going to be dealing damage to you, which will cause you to discard one of your action cards, and this is essentially your health for the game. But this also gives you an opportunity to push your luck, because you can also choose to draw an additional alien card, and if that's a miss, then the entire attack is a miss. But if it's a hit, then you're going to be taking 2 points of damage. The game continues like this, alternating between the players' turns and the aliens' turns, and of course with players trying to prevent the computer from advancing through its protocol, but each time you're able to stop the protocol from completing its next event, that will actually cause another alien to make its way into the ship. There's going to be lots going on here as players try to survive, and if that sounds like fun to you, you can definitely check this one out, and I will have it linked in the description down below.